latest and greatest. Hope everybody's doing well, feeling fantastic and excellent spirits as we're here for another podcast pregame. The podcast is going to come at you live, direct, and in full effect here on the channel in an hour and 15 minutes. So I'll be here for about, I'd say an hour, roughly, depending on what type of activity I get. But I would think that considering my usual suspects and a few others that have started to pop up here over the course of the last, a few weeks, maybe months, whether that's my guy Bastien in Hong Kong, whether that's Victor E in Southern California, Toppers in Colorado, whom else? Miles, who resurfaced, but I don't know if he's going to pop back here shortly. That would be cool if he does. And I know I'm missing a lot of other people, but you get the gist when it comes to me doing what I do with these podcast pre-games, as I enjoy chopping it up with you, listening to what it is they have to say. People from Antarctica, my guy Vlado, as well as my usual suspects, Bio, Fuqua, Jay, Fishing Angel, Val, Brent. Those are my diehards right there. But James D, who I haven't seen in a while. Hope he's doing well. But here we are. It's the last podcast of the month. But obviously there's a lot cooking here with yours truly over the course of these next few days, celebrating another anniversary, which will be Sunday. And if you don't know, now you know. 1 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday, March 1st, I'll have my anniversary live stream. Going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. Should be a situation where, who is that? Should be a situation where we'll have a lot cooking when it comes to not only sports, but just to recap, reflect over the last year and what lies ahead, and obviously some possible changes. Val, welcome. How you doing? And yeah, I'm just beyond grateful to be in this position to host these live streams, to host these podcasts, to have this interaction with you guys and gals. Yes, they did against Memphis. And I think they're on the East Coast trip. I know they got let me just double check that. I think the Warriors, I know they still have to play the Knicks, Celtics. I don't know if this is part of their schedule. Oh, no, they have the Lakers Saturday. Yeah, no, they're not coming east yet. In fact, yeah, that is after, they have a stretch where they play. Yeah, they play the Lakers Saturday. Then they go to Houston, Oklahoma City, Utah. But March 15th, they play at the Garden. Then Monday in Washington, Wednesday in Boston, and at Detroit, Atlanta, Dallas. Yeah, that's a tough stretch, especially late in the year. So we'll see how that goes. But, yeah. No, that's all right, Val. Yeah, you're the first one here. So welcome. You are not late. Flames Sharks tonight, yes. We'll see how they do. Yeah, last night NHL, with the return of what's happening on ice, you had the Devils lose. Buffalo looks like they're going to make the playoffs. And you had, Toronto, they're going to fire Berube. I hate to say it. And I like Berube a lot, the coach. But he's going to be gone. Kings lose yesterday to our guy, Bio, to Vegas. And I know Anaheim had that comeback. Joel Quenneville with his 1,000th victory, only the second coach in NHL history to win 1,000 games, which that says a lot when you think about all the great coaches in the history of the sport, and the sport's been around over 100 years. Obviously, Scotty Bowman has number one, but when you think of the Al Arbors of the world, Glenn Sather, Bob Johnson, I could go down a list of all these coaches that you thought would have won 1,000 games, and that hasn't been the case. Welcome to the dozen people that are here. Hello, where are you from? What do you want to talk about? What is on your mind? I'm talking a little sports right now, because that's predominantly what the channel unpacks. But, oh wait, what was that? The rating for that 26 million. Wow. All right. Bio. Greetings. What is happening? How's the weather out there? I'm sure it's got to be. As a matter of fact, Moreno Valley, I saw this morning, I think it was like 55. And I know how much I would love to be out there. My guy is having a race at Lake Paris. They're doing a race April 26th. And it's funny because the following week, I'm actually going to be away. Gretzky Gutierrez. I got to make sure I say that. Gretzky. 58 now, 82 during the day. That's awesome. Yeah, 58 right now. Look at that. Wow, you guys have a little heat wave. 88 tomorrow, 84 Saturday. Yeah, it's actually gotten a lot milder here in New York. 24 people. Wow, 2 dozen? Welcome, people. Don't be shy. Well, it went from 24 to 10. Yeah, the weather here is actually going to be mild over the next few days, where a lot of the snow is going to melt. And it's funny because when it snowed in January, it snowed that championship Sunday. And up until this past Saturday, almost all the snow was gone, which took almost a month to melt. And it has snowed twice as much this time around, but it's already starting to melt. So, Texas and quarterback at Gerard. Oh, okay. Gerard Johnson. Yeah, who knows? After that disaster performance by C.J. Stroud against New England, might as well have me as the quarterback coach. Yeah, so the weather is definitely starting to get better. And obviously we know on Sunday is March. So yeah, hopefully the snow, and I think it's supposed to snow, still showers. Nothing that's going to really stick. I know that's coming down the pike here. I think Sunday into Monday. What is it about Sunday into Monday is beyond me. Oh, Landon Dickerson. I know he was hurt a lot last year. Cheers, everybody. This is H2O, water. Yeah, sports, it's interesting. There's a few things that I'm going to tackle on the podcast today. But it's weird. I don't really have, there's not like an overriding theme. I know James Harden now with this fractured thumb. I'm going to start the podcast with that, but it's strange because there really isn't anything that's like on and popping right now in sports. Like, you didn't really have a big game last night. I know Detroit beat Oklahoma City, but Oklahoma City, I didn't realize. I know Shea SGA was out, but yeah, like the starting five is toast. I know Jalen Williams has been out. He has that hamstring issue. Isaiah Hartenstein. Who else? Who was also hurt? Not Aaron Wiggins. Was it Wiggins? I don't even remember off the top of my head. But yeah, just to know that they're banged up. And I'd be curious to know how they're going to play it out the rest of the way. I'm sure they just want to get healthy. And I would think even if they don't get the 1 seed, if San Antonio gets it, I think they'd be fine. But yeah, obviously NBA will be off the rip. And then St. John's got waxed last night by UConn, which was nice. Not that I like UConn by any means. Crystal, what goes on? A little bit of this, a little bit of that, and everything in between. Crystal, how about you? How's the channel? Good to see you on here. The college basketball definitely starting to pick up a lot. I know Houston lost again. That's going to be a focal point on the podcast today. You kind of wonder whether or not if they're going to lose an opportunity to get a 1 seed in a region. Because if they don't, not that that's going to decimate them, but we all know Houston, they've always been a very good defensive team. About 11, sir? Yeah? All right. When are you posting your next official American mapper? Welcome. Oh, you're rocking the Will Smith jersey today. All right. Yes, American Mapper. Hello. Welcome. The college basketball definitely starting to percolate a lot here as of late. But yeah, I'd be concerned if I'm a Houston Cougar fan because, yeah, talking about Houston, they've always been a very tenacious team defensively. Offensively, you could certainly question. Yeah, and even though I mentioned yesterday, and I believe on the podcast Monday, it's still very top heavy if you ask me college basketball. And that's not to say that you're not going to have a Cinderella or two, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think you're going to get 4 1 seeds, but I wouldn't be surprised to get 2 and maybe even 3 1 seeds. And we got to see how the brackets are. I know it's way too early to even talk about that. How much subs I have? Official? Yeah, I have like over 1,075, I believe. Do you want to be 76 or 77? Unless I don't cut it when it comes to subs. Now I know where you're from or what you like. Draymond was out. Yeah, the thing about the Warriors, Val, they're too nicked up. They're old. I understand Steph Curry may have a game or two if he's healthy in the postseason where he's going to light it up, but they're not going to last 4 rounds. They're not. And think about this. Winning that title in 2022, I don't want to say it cements their legacy or anything like that, but you could argue whether or not, if they did not win that, where you would look at the early part of the Steph, Clay, Draymond era and think that, wow, they never won another one. Having that other one, I tell you, certainly is going to go a long way. I think. Now, I understand people are going to say, oh, their legacy was cemented prior to that. Well, remember, they had Kevin Durant. Shane, what's going on? They had Kevin Durant. And I think even though they won one without Durant, that first title, but I don't know if Steph Curry, considering the respect and the friendship he has with Kevin Durant, I don't think he'd ever say that, oh, yeah, that one meant more or what have you without having him there. But I tell you, that one, in my eyes, is, I was going to say is the most important one. It's not, but I think it's up there. Shane, I'm from New York City. Where are you from? Who are my Sharks traders when it's game time? Sharks fan. Now, do you have a Macklin Celebrini jersey? Death by Stoned. Durant would have ever won without Curry and Clay. Cape Town, welcome. Nice. Hopefully one day I'll get to South Africa. Death by Stone. Durant. Yes, we are getting older, Val. Durant. We say Durant wouldn't have won without Curry and Clay. If you say that, you can certainly argue that. Because here he is now in Houston. And I don't think that team's going to a final. Amazing country? Yeah, I got to, amazing county. Cape Town. Never. You know what? I agree with you. He didn't win in OKC. He didn't win in Brooklyn. Didn't win in Phoenix. The jury's out here in Houston, but I don't think he's winning there either. So I'm with you. And that's the thing. I know there have been a lot of videos posted about him recently from what I've seen. And I'm talking about commentary type videos from, yeah, he's not my top 5 either. No. Yeah, but I tell you, Kevin Durant, we know he's an all-time great, one of the great scorers we've ever seen, especially at that size, height, etc. But he was better off staying in Golden State. And here he was trying to go to another team to link up with Kyrie. And I understand the toe on the three-point line in Game 7 against Milwaukee. But, yeah, when you think about it, ever since he left Golden State, that was his biggest playoff highlight. Stepping on the three-point line. Because if he made that three, they would have advanced. And they may have won the championship that year. Obviously, we'll never know. Do you do radio because your voice? Thanks, Shane. I do not, but I do a podcast. If you like sports, it's 11 o'clock right here on the channel. So I'm going to sound like a broadcaster, I guess, in your eyes or your from your perspective. So yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you, Shane. Death by Stoned. Katie is not my top. He's not my top 5 either. If I had to rank them all time, I'd probably put him between 12 and 18. Salute to you, Shane. Thank you. Yeah, I'd probably put him anywhere between 12 and 18. When he went to the Nets with Kyrie, I knew they would never amount to anything. Yeah, I mean, and then of course he had COVID, and then Kyrie sat out because of that, which didn't help. And then they bring in James Harden, which I knew that was a disaster. But I understand they were trying to do whatever it took to win a title. Yeah. That's, yeah, obviously it was not good. I do. Macklin still, you do have his jersey. Nice. Anthony, yes, he was. He's on the Islanders now. All right, Val. Good stuff. Say 6'7", 6'7". I said it twice. How about that there, Shane, just for you. But yeah, Katie's not in my top 5. He's not in my top 10. As I say, 12 to 14. If I had to rank, because we know the top 10 is subjective. I get it. I could give you the top 10. But 10 to 20 is interesting because who would I put? And this is in no order. All right? In no order. Kyrie's the biggest crybaby too. He's really tried. No, listen, he's changed his image ever since what happened there in Brooklyn. I mean, he's been a good soldier in Dallas. Went to a finals. I understand he tore his ACL. Listen, I got number for him on the court. Number of respect for Kyrie. And off the court, too. I mean, listen. Come on, if we're going to look at some of the things that he's done and judge that, whatever, hey, he has the right to do whatever he wants. That's how I look at it. I'm not going to be one to be like, oh, well, you should have done this, you know. But, and listen, I understand he's getting paid. I don't think he got paid for that when he sat out. But that was something he chose. So, well, I don't know what that is. You mean meow? Shane? If that's what you're talking about, well, I guess I just did that for you too, so. Yeah, I tell you. And I understand Kyrie is polarizing. Although recently, obviously, he's been low-key. He's deep into his heritage. He's deep into spirituality, which I love. And history, and I get it. He could, you know, the whole once upon a time, oh, the earth is flat, whatever. All right, he wants to say that. That's on him. But, yeah, am I going to kill him over that? You know, people are right away quick to judge and rush. Hey, listen. Internally, you're going to think like, all right, he's going to say that. That's how he feels. But there's people that are going to argue that until they're blue in the face. And, you know. But I'm not going to look at him as a overall human being. I mean, obviously, there's been a lot worse people than him. Not only as athletes, but just people that walk on the planet. And right away, they want to just crucify him for it, which I think is a bit unfair. So, but, and you can't deny his talent. The guy's no joke. Shane, what are we getting at here? I don't know what this is. But if I got to go for the next 10 to 20 and in no order, Olajuwon, Moses Malone, Kobe, Durant, Curry at 6. Nowitzki. Oh, really? The Jets are trading Jermaine Johnson? He was one of their big defensive linemen, too. Yeah, until the 11th. Thanks for that, Val. T'Vondre Sweat. Yeah, I'm not watching Titan football, so interesting. I wonder why they did that. I mean, they think Sweat has better upside than Jermaine Johnson. Jermaine Johnson's good. I need two more. I guess you have to say Karl Malone. And maybe John Stockton. So that would be my next 10 probably. Maybe Stockton, I don't know. But Malone's got to be up there, though. Although I didn't like him in a big game. Yeah, he could do whatever he wants, but I think he's fake. Was a big Kai fan. Listen, I hear you. You have the right to feel that way. Yeah, he got traded to the Celtics and then went to Brooklyn. Death by Stone, where you from? I'm curious. And listen. Happy birthday, Trevor. Yeah, and listen, I was never really the biggest Kyrie fan. Another Cali, all right. Northern or Southern? Yeah, I was never, and the funny thing is that when he got traded to the Celtics, and they traded Isaiah Thomas, and that was after Thomas lost his sister. His sister was killed. And he had 2 great years in Boston. I mean, they had to do the trade. Basketball, Shane. We can talk football if you want. But I'm sure football in your neck of the woods is soccer, which is fine because that is football. No, I'm talking basketball right now. But for that trade to happen and go down, and that first year where he got hurt, he hurt his knee about 2/3 into the season, and he didn't play the rest of the year. That was Jason Tatum's rookie year. And they went to a conference final, and that was the year of Gordon Hayward, too, when he snapped his ankle in the opening game against the Cavaliers. And then the following year, played well. They swept the Pacers in the first round, and then they won the first game in Milwaukee, and they played great in that game. And I remember Gordon Hayward had a big game. And it was like, wow, they won their first 5 playoff games on a roll, and then they got smacked after that to where they didn't even win another game. And Kyrie mailed it in, and it was just terrible. In South Africa, we love talking about rugby. Of course I know what rugby is. Nikita Kucherov. Yeah, Nikita Kucherov is probably going to be in the MVP discussion too, I would think. And they're in first place, and they beat the Leafs last night. Southern California, all right. Yeah, I got California in the house. A couple of guys here that are from Cali. So welcome. Rugby. Yeah, I can't say I'm into rugby. Not that I wouldn't watch it, but I have no investment in it, so I don't have a team. I don't follow. Unfortunately. But what do we got here? 10:08. All right, let me anything happening, news and notes in the sports landscape? Let's reload. Yeah, I didn't know about Jermaine Johnson. I wonder why. Let's see. 700 apples. What do you got? 700 points? Yeah, it's probably 700 points. Yeah, sometimes I feel like Kyrie is cursed. Every team he plays with, either. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much been since Kyrie left Cleveland. And listen, nobody's going to deny his talent, his ability, but. And I get it. He made one of the biggest shots in NBA history, certainly in Cavaliers history. And you can't take the championship away from him. But just like with Kevin Durant, it's weird because his legacy is going to be similar because he's a guy that won a championship. And in this case for Kyrie, hit the shot to win a title. But ever since then, now you went back to a finals 2 years ago, but they were overmatched. And yeah, with the injuries, and I know the COVID thing, and he's going to be what, 34 next month? I think he was born 92, right? Yeah, he's not getting younger, and he's not getting better. Who's my favorite player in basketball? Steph Curry, like? My favorite player is Jason Tatum. Yeah, I love Jason Tatum. 10 straight for San Antonio. Yeah, I know they came back. Yes. First 10-game winning streak was 2015-16. Yeah, Spurs are going to be tough, man. I know it's premature, but a Spurs Thunder conference final, look out. And I think they're one game in the loss back now. Yeah, they're two back with one in the loss, and they actually have 2 games in hand, as the Thunder have played 60 games. I mean, think about this. The Thunder started 24-1. Since then, they've gone 21-14, which is still very good. But you would think they've run and hide? Nope. And they don't play against one another the rest of this year because they've already played 5 times. But points, not apples, yeah. Thanks, Shane. Yeah, with the Pistons and the Celtics losing in Denver, which was not a surprise. I mean, back-to-back. When they played in Phoenix the night before. So. But yeah, looking forward to this podcast. Looking forward to the weekend. Looking forward to a anniversary celebration on Sunday, which is going to be a lot of fun. 1 p.m. I'll talk more about that on the podcast as well. And yeah, whatever's happening in sports. I know it's weird. It's a quiet time. I know the sports dead zone. I don't want to keep hammering that home, but yeah, you do have to wonder whether or not. Oh, RH is ready to talk about his favorite musical artist. All right, give me one reason why you want to talk about him, RH. Well, I'll entertain you with that one. Other than that, there's no point, no reason to talk about him. Unless he's involved in sports. Did he buy a basketball team? A collab? That. Now, you may think that, but why? Does he do sports talk? Because I don't sing. And yeah, if he wants to do a collab and talk sports, he's part of the sports world. He is not part of the sports world. I'm sorry, RH. I'm sorry. Yeah, we know he was the halftime, but he is not that. Do you think I'm crazy for thinking Wemby should be MVP this season? No, absolutely not. Death by stone. But Cade Cunningham, Jaylen Brown, I think those would be the top 3. Yeah, I think those would be the top 3 right now, because even with SGA and Jokic, I think if SGA misses 5 more games, he'll be ineligible. And I think if Jokic misses 2 more games, he'll be ineligible because they have to play 65 games. Bronny James. Gronk is the best tight end of all time. What's up, Drew? You know what? That's a good question. Listen, I know Tony Gonzalez has the numbers and the longevity. Antonio Gates was great. I loved him. And he's going into the Hall, I think, this summer. Shannon Sharp was more of a hybrid. I mean, he's not your prototypical tight end. Kellen Winslow was the premier tight end of that at that time. Pass catching, dominant. Yeah, Wemby has run through Cade. I'll get to that in a second, Death by Stone. Drews, I like that. You know what? Gronk is hard to argue, man. That guy was dominant. I mean, he was a load, number one. Number two, I understand he doesn't have the numbers that Gonzalez has, the longevity, even Antonio Gates. Gronk was no joke, man. I give it up. And if you ask me this, Gronk or Travis Kelce, please. And Kelce, he's going to the Hall of Fame. Give me Gronk every day and twice on Sunday. Yep. Run, catch, block. No, he was fantastic. I mean, the guy was what, 6'5"? Wemby's owned all of them this year. We certainly owned the Thunder. Best halftime show was Prince, hands down. Hey, Willie Goodman. Hey, listen, I can't argue that. I love Gonzalez too. But no, Drew, you're right. Gronk was, and he was better than George Kittle also. Without question. Fuqua. Yeah, Pistons only won yesterday because SGA and Jalen Williams and a bunch of other people. Willie. Serious note, Michael Jackson had best halftime show. I disagree. The best halftime show took place on February 4th, 2007. I don't know what was the name of the stadium at that time. Sun Life or whatever. It's Hard Rock. It's Prince. Hands down. I wouldn't say it was the worst, but teach his own. Yes, they did, Val. And I got to follow up with your stuff on Instagram. I haven't forgotten about that. Snoop. Oh, the LA one? Yeah, with the Eminem and all that. Yeah, that was all right. Your touch, your opinion. No, I hear you. Absolutely, RH. You feel Michael Jackson? Listen, I'm not going to say you're nuts. Send you $500, your Nigerian prince? Well, if you're a Nigerian prince, shouldn't you be sending us $500? Yeah, same here, Bio. I liked it. Absolutely. I know Fuqua, Mets are on PIX again? Went down PIX a couple days ago? That's good. Yeah, easy on the MVP. I got news for you. Although Death by Stone, I think Wemby, he's going to get consideration without question. But I don't think, unless, who knows? Unless he goes on a run here. But, yeah, if it's not SGA Jokic, it's certainly going to be Cade Cunningham or Jaylen Brown. Yeah, exactly, Drews. Yeah, he's the Nigerian prince. You can add a couple other zeros at the end of that, too, not just what's going on. Rayon, what's happening? Now, Rayon, if you jump on my live podcast at 11 o'clock, just as a reminder, I won't say hello until I'm done talking sports. And then in the last hour, I'll open it up to all the comments, etc. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, he has transformed the Pistons. I mean, hey, he's a former number one overall. You would only hope. Do you think LeBron is the number one greatest of all time? I do not. He's on Mount Rushmore, though. He's on the top four. I don't think he's number one. I will say this. LeBron has had the best NBA career that anybody has ever had and anybody ever will. I don't think you're ever going to see somebody play 23 years in the NBA and have the career he had. No one. Oh, Jordan is my number one. Yeah, Goodman. Yeah, well, he's top 10. Wait, hold on. Let me scroll back up. I think Cade makes it in this year. He's playing the top of his game right now. Yeah, I agree with that, Drew. He could win the MVP. I wouldn't be surprised. Let me catch up on your comments here. RH, why you want to talk about poop raft? Yeah, my number one's Jordan. Top 10. I feel Wilt was the greatest of all time. See, the thing with Wilt, though, and I don't want to make it all about championships because that's not the case. Because if that was the case, then Robert Ory should be an all-time great. And we all know he's not. But the thing with Wilt, he was so dominant and so great, but it was here and here. I'm sure you know the story. Game 7, 1970, NBA Finals, when Willis Reed came out of the tunnel. Wilt Chamberlain looked over and saw Willis Reed, and he was just staring at Reed as if he said, that's when you knew they already lost. He didn't block that out. You know what's funny, Willie? Kareem had the best NBA career before LeBron, but it's crazy how, I mean, Kareem was, you could argue that Kareem is the greatest of all time. You could really argue that. I mean, 6 championships, 6 MVPs, 3 championships in college. I mean, the guy had one of the great, and Bill Russell, think about this. Bill Russell won 11 titles in 13 years and 2 in college. So you could even argue he had the better career, but obviously didn't have the offensive numbers that Kareem did. But Kareem's career, I mean, he takes a backseat to no one, in my eyes. Does not. But you got Jordan, and you got LeBron. And listen, LeBron just eclipsed, 43,000 points. He's going on 12. But listen, if you're going to play that long, and I understand Vince Carter just played 22 years, but certainly doesn't have anywhere close to the numbers LeBron has, or the dominance, etc. That's why LeBron's career, as far as an NBA career, no one's going to replicate that. As long as I'm alive, you're alive, who knows? Unless, which would be, I'm sure, either that 2, 3, 4, 5, 8-year-old is out there right now, or hasn't even been brought into this world just yet. I'm not going to see that. But when you play that long, you're going to compile these numbers. So, and listen, LeBron, even at 41, he's still dominant for 41. I mean, you're not going to see peak LeBron, Miami Heat, Cleveland, or early on with the Lakers. You're not going to see that. But for a guy at his age, and he's still, what is he averaging? I mean, come on. RH, I know you're cracking jokes here. LeBron can't seal the deal. 3 for 34 in the finals. 3 for 34. Oh, 3 and 34 in the finals? Come on, we know that's not right. Yeah, but Willie Goodman, I feel you, man. Kareem, his career is no joke. Hey, Grant, what's happening? Been 6? All right, definitely. I'll be around. Good to see you, Grant. Hope everything's well. Hope you feel better, too. Yeah, we know about the poop raft, RH. Best Finals MVP performance of all time belongs to who? Best Finals MVP performance. You could argue Jerry West, 69. Because remember, they lost to the Celtics, and he got the MVP. So, I mean, think about that. But as far as a win, best Finals MVP performance of all time? Dwayne Wade had a very good one in 2006. What did he average? 30-something points a game? I guess any of those Jordan years. Thinking. I don't know, Shaq's dominance in the early 2000s. Tim Duncan in 03. I'll tell you one thing. One of the best finals performances I've ever seen. And I was in Puerto Rico when this happened. Watching it in a plaza. And I was just marveled by how he played. And we're going to bring his name up again. Talk about dominance. LeBron, game 1 of the 2018 NBA Finals, when he scored 51, the game went into overtime. That was a J.R. Smith blanking out there at the end. LeBron was just otherworldly that night. I mean, he was That's probably one of the best basketball games I've ever seen a player play. And that includes Jordan, that includes Bird, Magic, you name it. Oh, and I got one, speaking of Magic. And if, I got to scroll back up. How about 1980 as a rookie? Especially game 6 in the Spectrum. What did he have? 42, 15, and 7 when Kareem was out? Or 9? No, I think it was 7. I mean, come on. How could you beat that? As a rookie, 42 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists. Cal Ripken Jr. and LeBron are in their own leagues of longevity. Yeah. I can see that. Hey, Shay, chopped. Who, I look chopped? I know that's a Gen Z word. Jordan was better than LeBron. Pete Rose played forever, too, and has many records longevity. Oh, yeah, a compiler. Mark, welcome. I appreciate you. Yeah, and that's the thing. You got to differentiate that. And listen, LeBron is at the point of his career where he's still playing and giving up, and he's still very good, but he's compiling now. And understand, the more you play, you're going to compile. It's not like, what do you expect him to do? Not score, I get it, but yeah, it's not as if he's playing, but you got to also give him credit too. He's still playing big-time minutes. Yeah, Pete Rose played forever. I get it. He's a compiler, but Pete Rose was dominant too. Won an MVP. Charlie Hustle, the guy had the tenacity and and I saw enough of Rose. Obviously not early on. He came up, 1964? But I saw Rose from the mid-'70s to the mid-'80s. I saw the 80 World Series. I remember watching his hitting streak where he lost it in Atlanta. He had a 44-game hitting streak in 78. During that stretch, he had 3 home runs at Shea Stadium on a Monday night game against the Mets. Yeah, listen, can't knock Rose. Adam, yeah, Duncan was boring, but he won. That's why Shaq called him the big fundamental, because he was a fundamentally sound player and was not flashy, was not listen, give me Tim Duncan. I'll take him. I'll take 10 Tim Duncans on my team. Veteran Will Clapper has retired. All right, Val. Which NBA players left off the original Dream Team should have actually made it? Oh, you already know who that should have been. Isaiah Thomas. But we all know the freeze out by Jordan. Which players on the team should have made it? Yep, Bio put it right there, Game 7. I think it was Game 6, though. Wasn't that Game 6, Bio? Yeah, that for sure. RH, I'm a dinosaur? Yeah, listen, I'm up there, but I don't think I'm a dinosaur. Jay, am I sponsored? I'm not, George. Why, do you want to sponsor the channel? Or do you have a sponsor that's anything sports related? It could be whatever. It could be. Yeah, but Magic, yeah, that was, come on. Yeah, I got it backwards. I said 15 rebounds. It was 42, 15, and 7, 15 assists. That game was, forget it. Oh, good one, RH. Yeah, Dominique. You could argue should have been on that team. Yeah, and to get back to that, I understand they put Leitner in there. College player. He had a great college career. One of the great college players of all time. Think about that. College. I'm not saying NBA. Yeah, is anybody else should have been off that team? Let me think off the top of my head. Yeah, Jordan, Bird, Magic, Malone, Pippen, Drexler, Mullen, David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, Leitner, that's 10. I'm missing 2 others. Yeah, it's kind of hard to take any of those guys out. If I had to take one of those guys out and put somebody else in, Isaiah should have been on that team. That goes without saying. Stockton was on that team. I didn't mention him. It's hard. Mark Sammons. I love that. I'll unpack that. Yeah, but you know why Mullen was on that team? Now, listen, you could argue that Bird shouldn't have been on the team because Bird's back was shot. And the only reason why he was on the team because out of respect. So, listen, I'll be honest. Bird probably shouldn't have been on that team. But they had Mullen in there because Mullen was the shooter, and he was a guy that obviously was Bird's replacement, so to speak. So, do you have a gun? I have 59 guns I could share with you. Nah, I'll pass on that, Shapim Cabicho. All right. Let's see. I'm going to get to that comment there, Mark. Hold on. Yeah, I think I'm caught up to here. Hold on. Thoughts on Mayweather coming out of retirement to fight Tyson? I'm going to talk about that on the podcast. 11 o'clock in a half hour. It's going to be up. And I hadn't talked about that until now. I was going to talk about that on the podcast. I should have brought that up yesterday on the live stream, which I didn't. All right. I don't want to give it all away, but I'll say this. Just goes to show you what boxing is. And I understand it's about content. And I also get it that Money Mayweather, people are gonna buy it, his fans, etc. But if I'm being real, I mean, come on. What are we doing? I'll just leave it at that. Come back at 11 o'clock. And just so you know, my podcast will be live. The link is in the channel. If you go to the live tab, I'm sure it's probably highlighted on my page. If you haven't subscribed, I appreciate that too, Mark. Talking sports, it's what I do. But yeah, I'll really unpack it then. Trust me, I'm this close to unpacking it now, but I want to save it. But yeah, if you're going to ask me my thoughts on it, coming out of retirement, I mean, come on. Floyd, really? Do you need the money? We know he doesn't need the money unless, who knows? But yeah, I'll certainly unpack that in the next hour. And with that being said, just so you know, when I do my live podcast, I go through my agenda and then I get into the questions and comments afterwards. So don't think I'll be ignoring you or anybody else's comments when I go through my stream of consciousness when it comes to what I'll discuss. But once I'm done and I'll say, all right, let me get into the comments, questions, etc., then I'll talk about it. Now, if you're able to stick around, whatever, great. Hopefully you are. Or maybe if you're working or wherever, I don't know what part of the country or world you're from, but hopefully you stick around and I'll be more than happy to answer anything at that time. And yeah, my thoughts on Mayweather coming out of retirement. I mean, come on. Boxing is just, ugh. James Worthy. Yeah, that was game 7. Yeah, that's a monster game. That was, wait a minute, Hakeem was on that team? I don't remember him being on the Dream Team. Yeah, I mentioned Stockton. Yeah, Worthy, that was, yeah, why don't I remember that game off the top of my head? Of course I remember game 6, Isaiah with the bum ankle, he scored 25 points. And I remember, who missed free throws? I saw your comment, RH, about Bill Lane Beer. I mean, seriously. Yeah, that should be recognized one of the great all-time games. And Walt Frazier's game 7 against the Lakers in 70s also. I mentioned Willis Reed before. What was he? 36-19 and I think he had 36-19 and 7. I mean, come on, you can't get any better than that. But then again, if you're James Worthy, he actually did better than Walt Frazier. No, Worthy was an all-time great also. I mean, please. All right, Diego. We're going to talk about the rusty trombone again? Oh, jeez. He actually does need the money. Watch Chad Johnson talk about it. Is that right, Mark? Was that recent with his, he does, I know, the podcast with, I was going to say Sterling Sharp. Shannon Sharp. Yeah, the thing about Mayweather, listen, he's only going to show us what he's going to show us. So, yeah, if he's going to be courtside with stacks of bills and all that, I mean, come on, Floyd, really? I understand your Money Mayweather. I understand the money team and all that, but come on, my guy. You're, 50 years old? and you're going to be out here like that. And listen, to each his own. Who am I to tell him what to do with his life, whatever? But I mean, seriously, is this what we're going to do? To kind of show everybody, yeah, I still got money? I mean, nobody cares. I don't. And Chad Johnson, I give it up to him. He's always been one that, I guess he saved his money, lives below his means. He's like, I fly Spirit everywhere. He's not flying in private jets and this and that. And that's where you can burn your money. Burn right through it. And that's the thing. I give it up to guys like Chad Johnson, who knew that whatever he made in his NFL career, it wasn't going to last forever. And listen, I don't know how much he's worth now, whatever. And again, that's not my business, or should I even care about it. But yeah, he's not out here trying to floss. Where guys like Mayweather, and listen, I'm not even going to give him the time of day, but I'll just put it this way. A guy that he fought in an exhibition once upon a time, yeah, like they're just out here just trying to flex and floss and look at me and blah, 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 and whatever. It's like, come on, man. Can we be a little bit more humble? Especially Mayweather. I can see if you're 20 years old, all right, fine, whatever. And in the case of if you put two and two together. But still, act humble, be out here, just minding your own, doing your own thing, and that's it. And that's why I give it up for Chad Johnson. And listen, Chad Johnson, I'm not trying to make him out to be a choir boy. But, you know, with some of these guys out here and their behavior and, they're just entitled. I mean, come on. An ego. Yeah, check that aside. You know, even guys in a business, like, you look at someone, I sound like I'm a pile on them. Like Stephen A. I mean, come on, man. You're not bigger than the game. You're not bigger than anybody else. I mean, come on. I get at the end of the day, you're going to feel important or whatever, but you talk sports. You and a million other people. Now, obviously, you're getting paid handsomely and you're working on the worldwide leader of sports, but I say it all the time, anytime, anywhere. The great debate. Trust me, I've had these thoughts in my head for eons. In all the comments, he says, oh, well, what I'm worth double. Well, not when you're saying that the National League is a national conference. Or once upon a time, that was many years ago, but when he had his show, quite frankly, with Stephen A. Smith, and he was the one that came out and says, oh, well, if you go for a field goal on third down and you miss it, you could attempt another field goal after that. Stephen A. I mean, anyway, I know it sounds like I have it out for him. But you know what? I don't have it out for him, but it's just like, come on, man. You do this for a living. You can't screw it up. You can't call, oh, well, the Phillies are in the Dodgers conference and the Mets are in the Dodgers conference. Oof. Not good. In fact, it's deplorable. Yeah, I know. I saw him talking hockey with PK Subban, and I get it. He's got to talk about it. Just like if I'm going to talk about soccer or if I'm going to talk about something that I'm parachuting in on. And I understand you could critique it to a certain extent because when you've watched enough sports over your life, right, you may not know the ins and outs or players or whatever, but you could say, that was a bad play or whatever. I get that. But, yeah, you can't go on there thinking that you know what you're talking about when you don't know what you're talking about. Because, as I said the other day, and I'll say it one more time, he wouldn't know the Hughes brothers, and I'm not talking about Alan and Albert, shout out to them. Menace to Society, one of my favorite films of all time. And American Pimp too, got to give it up. But you can't, the Hughes brothers walk in to the studio, you won't even know who they are. Thanks, Val. And I know you always contribute. I appreciate your support. You know that. And everybody else that's been on here today, obviously my guy Bio. And RH, I know you keep coming back. I appreciate you, even though we don't have to talk about some of the things you talk about, but it's all good. Money comes and goes. Yeah, Lenny Dykstra, that's another good one. Yeah, now Chad Johnson's done the right thing. Without question, you live below your means. If you live below your means, you're going to be all right. But we know for every Chad Johnson, there's a million guys that blow through all their money. And then what do they have? Nothing. And yeah, Lenny Dykstra. And I get it. Dykstra probably has other issues on top of that. Not only just with money, but, going after Ron Darling and former Met teammates. And listen, I love Dykstra. Now, I'm a big Met fan. Mark, as a matter of fact, where are you from? I'm curious. Yeah, I'm a huge Met fan. And how could you not like Dykstra? But, yeah. And money does come and go, man. And listen, if anybody knows, it's me. And I'm not trying to say I got it like that, but Mark, just for you to know and for anybody else out there, and I know this is going to sound like a broken record to Bio and to Val, but do you think this will lead you to truth? What are you talking about, automation? What, my personal truth? Yeah, I think I have a pretty good feel of that, if that's what you're referring to. But over 2 years ago, I quit my job to pursue talking sports, to expand my channel, to grow it, to have a platform. Lifelong sports fan, talking sports since birth. And yeah, it's one of those things where I got tired of corporate America. I gave up the cushy job, the salary, the benefits, the vacation time, plenty of PTO, etc., to pursue this. And I'm still going at it. I'm not slowing down. I'm not stopping. I know the wife is like, all right, it's been over 2 years. What's going on here? But you know what? I'm doing what it is that I love. I understand there's got to be some incremental process when it comes to finances, but I'm going to keep keeping on. And as long as I'm alive and breathing, I'm going to pursue my goal. Cincinnati. Oh, you knew Lenny through family. Oh, look at that. All right. Yeah, I have a good friend of mine that's from Cincinnati. Are you a Bengal fan? No way, dude. You gave up your job for content creation? Yes, I did, automation. How am I surviving? Well, thankfully, I live below my means. I've saved up enough money dating back to the days of COVID. And yeah, hanging in there. And I've got a couple of... Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. Go Bengals. Hey, Karen Hall. Yeah, we got Mark from Cincinnati, so I wonder if he's a Bengal fan. And obviously knows about Chad Johnson, if that's the case. You think the Chinese girl born in America is good at representing the Chinese Olympic? Well, I don't know. Is she Chinese? You talking about Alyssa Liu? Listen, you got to give it up what she did. Winning the gold the way she did. I mean, she's phenomenal. Yeah, I did give it up. How am I surviving? That's how I'm surviving. And faith. So, and like I said, I have a few partnerships. I haven't really posted as much as I should. But I'm going to start doing that come Sunday, March 1st and moving forward. And there's one that I have that I'm still working on. I got to put it together. It's actually with a sporting apparel company. So keep that in mind. But I got to build that. It's kind of weird. It's not like, yeah, here's the link and whatever you do, go. It's like I got to attach items, which is kind of, I don't know. All right, thinking about going full in content creation or something else too. Nah, this is it. Thank you, Toppers. Welcome, my man. How you doing? Burrow needs protection. Yes, he does. Yeah, and I'm a Steeler fan too, Mark. So, but no, how can you not like Burrow? I love Jamar Chase. He's phenomenal. Praise Jesus or chill with the me comments. Hey, Fortuna, nothing without you. Hey, gotta have faith, right? You watch Olympic boxing too? Yeah, Summer, I'll watch it. If I know there's somebody that's worth watching. Absolutely. Where you from, automation? And listen, by the way, it's 10:43. I gotta jump off. I'm gonna jump off at 10:50 because at 17 minutes, top of the hour, my live podcast, Talking Sports. And as I mentioned, I'm not going to answer the comments or questions at that time. When I'm done talking about what's happening in sports, then I'll get to it. So you got to hang on for that. New Zealand. All right. Nice. You know me, Hot Shots? J-Rod. It's not your job that is on the person themselves. Yeah. I hear you, J-Rod. No doubt. Yeah, sure, man. I'll follow. All right, automation. I appreciate that. I'll give you one slap. Hot shots. Come on, really? Violence. This is not a preaching channel, yeah. Listen, the only thing I'm going to preach is positivity and going for yours. That's what I'm talking about. That's all I want. I want everybody to win, whatever it is that they're doing in life. And I don't want to make it all about that right now, but yeah. There's no negativity in this room. Yes, we convene to talk sports. I understand sometimes I go off the rails every now and again, but that's just me, my being passionate. But yeah, SBRTS is what we gather here as a community to talk about. Before Black History Month ends, please apologize. All right. I hear you. They've been through a lot. They're professional. You got that right, but okay. You're right about that. Man ate 3,000-year-old eggs. Oh, nice. All right. How do you pronounce that name? What else we got? I catch up here? Yeah, but this podcast forthcoming, I'll get to unpack a lot of different things here because, like I said, it's not like there's been a lot going on and a lot that's transpired. But I always got something to say. I give MMA coach vibes. Sangra. Are you saying I look like Dana White? Please don't say that. I'm kidding. I'm not apologizing for something I had no part in. Nah, no need to, J-Rod. You know that. Was corporate hell? How was the reaction of people around you? Who you got for your MMA top 5 fighters of all time? All right, Jay, I'll get to that in a second. Was corporate hell? It became that way for me. How was my reaction to people around you? Believe it or not, everybody was supportive. Nobody looked at me like, oh, you're crazy, oh, you're nuts, blah, blah, blah. I actually had a couple of attorneys and one big attorney say to me, it's like, man, I wish I could just play golf professionally or work on a golf course. I don't even want to do this anymore. He says he does it because he pays the bills. I mean, obviously, he's an attorney. He's a partner at the firm. And actually, his daughter, should I shout him out? Vincent Dunn, his daughter was on the U.S. women's soccer team. And if you know who that is, I'm sure you know. But shout out to you, Vincent Dunn. But people were very supportive. At least in my face. I mean, I don't know about, oh, he's crazy. Oh, what is he doing? Oh, he's leaving a job. Yeah, it became hell. And a lot of that had to do with post-COVID because when you're home all the time, I had a lot to reflect. I had done the podcast for 2 years at that point, over 2 years. And yeah, I was tired of working corporate. I was tired of answering to, now my bosses were cool, but I was just tired of the politics and the attitude and I just couldn't take it anymore. And yeah, I saved up enough money to be able to do this. Now, is this money going to last forever? No. That's why I got to start, not to say I haven't been making moves. I've been doing things on the side and behind the scenes, and legally stuff on the side, people. I don't want you to think I'm doing anything illegal, but yeah. But this is what, and Jay, I'm going to get to that too. Yeah. So that's why, I had to get out of it. And I tell you, and that's the one thing, you only live once. I want to be able to have a fulfilled life, a happy life. And not to say certainly wasn't fulfilled working in a corporate job, but knowing that I make my own hours doing what I do in this and what I put into it, I know the universe is watching and I will be blessed one day. J-Rod, the damage we face because people don't want to apologize and move on hurts us. Well, yeah, that's up to the individual. I get it, professional. My watch is kind of sick. It's a Polar watch, a running watch. Shout out to Polar if they want to sponsor me. Ronda Rousey gets destroyed in a comeback. Yeah. I'm ready for the excuses after the fight. Yeah, I know. And against Gina Carano, that should be pretty good. All right. Any specific sport that had a big impact? For me, baseball is my first love. That was my goal as a boy. I want to be a baseball player. All right. Yeah, now I was going to ask you, Jay Change, or Jay Chang, excuse me. I'm sorry, Jay. 612, so you must be from, that's got to be an area code. Jay Chang, I didn't know if you were talking about class, like if you're just talking heavyweight, if you're talking, I would think top 5 all time, and this goes across all of them. Yeah, I know you said John Jones, Anderson Silva for sure. My top 5. Yeah, those two. What about I can't pronounce his last name. Khabib Nurmagomedov, or I can't pronounce his last name. I would think he's got to be up there. Yeah, I'm not putting Conor McGregor. I understand by name you put him up there, but yeah, he's not an all-timer. What about Dustin Poirier? Or what about George St. Pierre? He's got to be up there, no? I would probably put George St. Pierre up there. Does Chuck Liddell belong up there? Top 5 all time? Yeah, I'd say St. Pierre belongs up there, and maybe the Khabib also too, man. It was a beast. I used to work corporate too. Now I've been doing truck driving for 6 years. About to change soon. Really? What are you gonna do now, Jay? Let me know. And I gotta hop off here. I'm giving you guys 4 more minutes because Minneapolis, yeah, 612. I was thinking that was 512. That's the wrong area code. So you're from Minneapolis, Jay. Welcome. Beautiful story, man. I love sports too. I will follow along your story. Oh, thank you, Automation. I appreciate that. Thank you. Of course, now that I got traction and I want to keep going, this is why I got to end this. Because you guys have been obviously supportive here throughout this conversation. Jay, whatever it is you're going to do next, do what it is that you love. I don't know how old you are, what your story is, whatever, your financial situation. That's another thing too. You got to live below your means. I don't floss. I got one car, same car. I've had it since 2014. Not trying to upgrade. Not trying to do anything that's out of my league. I don't wear designer clothes. I don't. No, none of that. I don't rock Jordans. Oh, I got to get the new Jordan. No, none of that. You live like that, you're going to be happy. So what I do nowadays is what I do. I'm a full-time content creator. All time. Bastien. What's going on? Khabib, yeah, actually Khabib. Yeah, so if I had to name the 5, yeah. Khabib. Yeah, I'd say Silva, Khabib, John Jones, St. Pierre, Liddell, Poirier. I think one of those. I like Babe Ruth. As far as baseball, I mean, how could you not? Obviously, I never watched them. Yes, Jay, I am. Jay Chang, that is. PB Burton. Thank you. Have a great day as well. Much love to you, too. Oh, Brock Lesnar. Yeah, that's another one. I forgot about him. Yeah, Conor McGregor, maybe for being the face of the sport, but I don't know if he's an all-time great, though. But I hear you, Toppers. I mean, you could throw him up there. I don't know if I would, though. I've been good, Bastien. Everything's good. I got to hop off here in a couple minutes because I got the live podcast in at 11. Tank Abbott, your favorite UFC fighter? All right, Bio. Nah. That's a good one. Yeah, I don't even know who's my favorite. Bobby Lashley. Yeah. Oh, Rampage. There's another one. Yeah. You're 36, Jay Chang. About to manifest my new life soon here. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. I really am. Do it, man. And here's the other thing, too. Don't let anybody out there tell you otherwise. Don't let anybody, oh, why are you going to do that? Oh, this and that. You know why? Because if they do, then you're going to start doubting yourself. If you have belief, if you know what you're doing is right, if you know what you're doing is in your heart, it's aligned with everything, then go for it. Because generally when people think that, oh, I wouldn't do that, oh, what are you going to do about money, oh, this and that, it's because of a reflection of their own lives, because they don't know what they got going on or whatever. And that's not a knock on them, but that's just their way of thinking. People that are successful, they take chances, they take risks. You got to. Because what are you going to do? Stay the same until you're 70 and you be, oh, God, I should have done that podcast 20 years ago. Nope. It's not the way to live. Yeah, Chuck Liddell, absolutely. I agree with you, Jay, on that one. Barry Bonds is the new baby Ruth. Yeah, Bonds steroids, though. That's the thing it's a problem. You know that guy, I think Morris Jim or something, that was a teacher, went to baseball at 35? Oh, yeah, that was the lefty who was in play for Tampa. They made a movie after him, Dennis Quaid. Yeah, I think his name was Jim Morris. Yeah, I don't know him personally, but I know what you're talking about. All right, guys, I got to jump off here. It's 5-2, but stay tuned because right here on my channel, hop on board. You'll hear me talk sports. And then after about an hour, if you can hang around that long, or just some back and forth, you can, then I'll take all your comments, questions, etc. Topper, thank you. Mark Sammons, my all-time favorite baseball player. I know you're going to probably laugh when you hear this. My all-time favorite baseball player is Darryl Strawberry. I love Strawberry. Yes, so hop on board. I'll see you in the chat. I'll answer those in the next hour. I appreciate everybody who hopped on board today, everybody who subscribed. I don't know how many people subscribed. I know a couple people said they would. So I appreciate you guys. Kurt Warner went from clerk to MVP in the Super Bowl. Yes, he did. Not laughing? All right, cool. No, he was, but yeah, I love Strawberry. I'm a Met fan, a lifelong Met fan, so that's why. Yeah, man, see you, bro. Thanks for having us. No, hey, Automation, thank you, man. I appreciate you guys. This is why I do this, to have this community. And I do usually have this podcast pregame I call every Monday and Thursday around 9:30, 9:45 Eastern time. So definitely come back on board. Let me sign off. And I can't even say until next time, whatever, because that next time is going to be in 4 minutes, people. So hop on board. You won't be disappointed. I appreciate you. Oh, thank you, Automation. Thank you. Goes without saying. Trust me. I really appreciate that. I'll see you in a few minutes. So hang on tight, people. More sports to come. More chatter. Until then.